I'm like in awe. Like, I mean, I've seen the world and you see like this purple carpet, like it's really happening.
Yep.
And like we're there, and I'm just like, wow, this is insane, man. Oh, Gabriel Hughes.
Bam! 1 Degree Podcast.
Yeah.
Booming. That's money. Appreciate you coming in. You're definitely the tallest guest we
No
have.
doubt.
Kenny usually towers over everybody, and then we have a 7-footer coming in.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. No, seriously, being next to this guy, I'm like, cool. Normal people height.
Yeah, for real.
This is what every time we had Quincy on, and the first question I asked him is, how's his basketball game? Wiggins.
Kenny flies.
He's good,
Yeah,
huh?
he can hoop. Kenny can hoop. Sometimes most football guys can't really hoop because they just try and muscle. Kenny is finesse, but he's big. He's like a monster out there.
Yeah, he's an
See,
athlete.
see.
He's got some good feet. He's got a good shot.
Yeah.
He can shoot the three. He can dribble. He thinks he's better.
I can't dribble.
You can dribble.
I mean-
a couple times.
Like for a big guy that people think you're just gonna go in the post and do like post up moves. You actually play basketball.
Yeah.
You go
I
shoot
guess I
threes.
do.
You pass. You drive. Do some layups and stuff like that. Can't dunk, but he does layups.
I missed the dunk yesterday.
He
Pretty
did miss a
hard.
dunk the other day.
You
But
missed
no,
the dunk?
I've seen him dunk before. But yeah, he went one-handed. Mom always take go two hands.
Yeah.
He went one hand.
My knee was not feeling it, and then I tried to do a reverse like under the hoop, and my knee just didn't jump, and I was just like, oh, and I just like tried to lay it up, and it just didn't work.
But he
That's
still dropped
tough.
about 14 in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, easy 14,
Yeah, easy
probably
14.
20.
Yeah. No, he's good. Quincy said that he wants Kenny on his team all the time because he knows how to play. You know, he can play defense, plays, and then he's like, and he knows to pass me the ball.
That is true. That is true.
I'm a good player without the ball in my hand.
No,
That's
you're locked up with
You know
us,
how to
man.
play. Yeah.
We got you for the rest of the time.
Gotcha.
So you guys play together in that league we were just talking about. It's like kind of like a weekend Sunday league,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be over 40, but it's not now. They dropped it to 30, and it's kind of been a struggle for the old timers, or what?
They
just-
did drop it.
Yeah, I just think there wasn't enough teams in the over 40, so they just combined the 30 and the 40.
But they canceled the league because of us. Like, we were crushing teams so bad that they
You
canceled
you
it.
guys play on the same team. Is this the team that you won the championship when you were
Yeah.
talking about? It's just all dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the league folded for about a couple of months, and then they bought it back. And so, end of the day, like, if we wouldn't turn it on, like actually play actual basketball, it's lights out.
Yeah.
But it's more just kind of like have fun, just go up and down. But yeah, we play again on the 10th for the championship. If we get it again, that's 4 times in a row. So making it
You guys
work.
must be doing something right then, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's not fair
No, it's not.
because like it's not.
Well,
it's not
I mean, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's like going and playing the sport that you play against like high school kids.
Yeah.
You it's kind of it's unfair.
Yeah, it's if we're at full squad, it's not even close.
it's cardio, doctor's orders. Get up and down.
Yeah. Cardio, that's the easiest, most fun cardio until you're done. So me and Kenny I went and played with Kenny one day. Felt good. Played. It was nice. It was fun. Got in the car, drove home. I could barely get out of the car.
Mhm.
I was so sore. Back was tight. Bottom of my feet were tore up.
Yeah.
And I was sore for 2 or 3 days. And like still work out every day, lift weights,
Mhm.
box. Kenny's got the boxing gym.
Yeah.
Pretty decent shape, but you go and play basketball and it
It's
kicks
like
your
the
butt.
different like feet muscles and like calf muscles that you aren't
Mhm.
using in
The
everyday
feet,
thing.
the
Right.
feet, the
Feet.
bottom of my feet get hammered. Doesn't matter the shoes, doesn't matter the socks.
Right.
Bottom of my feet get hammered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these bunions, bro. These bunions are
That is true. The
are
feet.
different.
That's all I hear
Yeah.
of this guy's bunions are the
You
death
don't,
of
you
him.
don't know my pain, bro.
No, yeah, he actually does. He's got bad bunions. He struggles
bad,
with it.
bad. I sent you that X-ray picture.
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Yeah, it's gross.
Man,
So let's
Gabe Hughes.
yeah, let's talk about.
So
kind
let's
Go
talk
ahead.
about the resume for a little bit.
Okay.
You played 9 years professional basketball.
Mm-hmm.
How many different countries did you play in?
Let's run through the list. Started off in Spain. From Spain, did Ireland, Japan, China, Romania, Estonia, Egypt, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Syria, South Korea, Germany, Hungary.
Damn.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's sick though.
What was the best league? What's the best league outside of the NBA?
Oh, Spain.
Spain's good.
Yeah.
Famous.
Yeah, Spain. I mean, it's funny because like we watching these different podcasts, and it was a guy that was talking about Light Divac. It was Jason Williams talking about he was smoking a pack of cigarettes before the game. I had teammates that would do that during halftime.
Really?
Like the guy would smoke a cigarette during halftime. His name was Wonko. He could shoot threes, play no defense, and I remember him like I'm like probably 24 years old, and it's at halftime. Pulled that cigarette. I was like, well, he's like, it's okay, we're fine. And he like just smokes a cigarette. He got buckets though, no defense, man. But Spain by far was the best competition. I mean, you got everyone. This was back in 04, 05, and it was a high level of kind of guys coming in and out of the league from the NBA jumping overseas, but they hoop. You know, Spain, their fundamentals, the way they move, really smart players and stuff. And that's why today when you see like the European game, it's like, because I already know, like they have basketball at school.
Yep.
Like 4 hours of just like only basketball.
Wow.
Like over here, we get like 2 hours in the gym, depending on like where you are. But over there, it's kind of like drilled in at a young age. Like, okay, you're gonna hoop. All right, around 8 years old, you're in basketball school.
Is that why the European players are very, very fundamentally sound, like very good basketball players? They don't have the talent sometimes that we have in the States, but they're so fundamentally sound that they can keep up on a high level.
They break down the game.
And you look at a dude like the Joker, like
Jokic.
he's so fundamental, like he's so talented or skilled with the ball. He's not super talented, right? He's not like crazy jumping out, but he knows how to play the game, how to pass, how to find the open man, when to shoot, when not to shoot, like all that kind of stuff is just all learned. And you hear like stories about him not even picking up a basketball during the offseason. Like he doesn't even play, and then he just goes out there and is just like does whatever he wants with the ball. The whole entire offense just runs through him, and it's just like, man, these European dudes are different when it comes to the skill and like the knowledge of the game that they learn over there, because us over in the States, all these young kids are trying to create highlight tapes.
Right.
You know, like that's their thing. Like I want to look good on YouTube. I want to look good on Instagram. If I'm like crossing somebody, but they're not like necessarily winning the game, but they're looking good on their highlight tape. So that's the biggest thing that I see with the basketball between the States and Europe.
They break down the game.
Yeah.
They break it down. It's like when you study something, and that's why a lot of times in film, you don't want to see yourself on film. They study the game. So they were studying these guys. They were studying Magic. They were studying different players that they were watching, and understand, okay, so if you're more athletic, what can I do differently? Because Ricky Rubio, when he came over to the States to play, he was already playing pro when he was like 14, 15, but they saw something within him, and it's kind of elevated. So for me, I was in Leb 2 in Spain. I would have probably stayed there the entire time. I was having issues with my back, so I had to kind of like leave there, and then from there just kind of just kept jumping back and forth, you know. Now, I mean, for the most part of it, the experience of all the different places I've been, it was unreal. You know, looking back now, my dad came over to Ireland, visited me one time. You know, we went out to Dublin, we saw it. But I was always in the mindset of like gym, hotel. It was never it was always business. It was
Kenny and I were just talking about this.
Yeah, it was never. I never saw the Great Wall. I fell asleep. Didn't see the pyramids because my taxi driver drove me past the pyramids. I fell asleep in the taxi. It was a crazy story. But I was always in the mindset of like, I'm here to hoop, man, and get some money, you know, and make a name for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's crazy. Like it's a crazy life to live too, because like you're traveling all over the world. Like I think it's crazy me playing in the States and going every week to go to a different city to play football, but like you're across the country, or you're across the world, right? Like you're across like you
across
like,
the pond.
You got stamps on your passport. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got stamps, like, you know, like that's crazy to like think about, and especially dealing with language barriers and dealing with like cultural barriers and food and like that you're not used to, right? Like, I mean, that's all stuff that you have to deal with that I didn't have to deal with, or Tyson didn't really have to deal with, maybe a little bit in Mexico, but like you're half Mexican. So you
Mexico, like, Puerto Rico, Dominican, there's kind of culture shock.
Yeah.
You're used to.
Oh yeah.
For sure. You're used to being able to hop on in a car and go to a McDonald's if you need to. You know what I mean? Like
or get peanut butter.
You know,
simple things like that, man. Like, it was definitely a trip. I mean, to this day, I do not eat McDonald's because when I was in China, we would eat dinner at like 4:00. So my translator would drive me down to McDonald's, and every single night for 4 months, it was either a Big Mac, nuggets, fries, a shake. And to this day, I'll eat the breakfast, but I have not had a Big Mac in probably, man, I would say, like over 19 years.
Because you were just tired of it.
I was burnt out.
You just never wanted to have it again.
No, never again.
But that's the only thing that you wanted to eat.
Well, it's only that was available. So we were doing in China. China was they're rigorous on training. Like we would train after a game. So we're in the morning, go home, rest, go back again. But dinner would be served at 4:00, and they're not giving a lot of portions out. I mean, I was the biggest thing walking around out there, and
I can only
literally
imagine,
I was in a spot where I was kind of out towards the country. I can't even name the spot, but I would be hungry like around 6. And he knew the routine. Hop in the taxi, go on down, order it up, go out to the room, scarf it down, play some Xbox, pass out, repeat every single day.
Dang.
But to this day, I do not touch McDonald's, man. I have not had a Big Mac. Fries are still good, but like the Big Mac, the meat, I just can't do it. It wrecked me.
Man, I couldn't even. So you never like adventured out like, I'm gonna try like the local cuisine here.
Some spots I did.
Okay.
I did a few spots. I would say Romania I did because I was there for a long time, man. And I mean the food, it was always a level of kind of like, at my size, my playing weight was like 240. So I was trying to compete with the level of kind of like being quick, but also kind of having that size and muscle and things like that. And they don't train the same way. Like you're saying, like a lot of those guys, like joking those guys, I had to do a lot of my own weight training, a lot of body weight training. So for me, it's like trying to get their food inside of me. The food here in the States is so different. It's heavy. Mm-hmm. Over there, it's lighter.
Yep.
In Japan, it was light food. So for me, it was like I had to double up on different things. When you go to order food, you're just kind of like, well, I need chicken. They're like looking at you like, what do you need chicken? I need chicken. And the barrier of communication, man, was always up and down. If I had a translator with me, or if I just kind of had to point it out or draw it down to actually draw chicken.
You draw it?
I draw it out because I'm like, I just want some chicken, man. Like I need protein. Like
I just want some chicken, man.
I'm trying to explain like either chicken or steak. Like there's something that would kind of like be inside my body. But they did their best, man. I mean, from the standpoint, it's not a knock, but definitely the Middle East. Like I remember being in Dubai, and I always go back to this movie, Along Came Polly. Have you ever seen the movie when the guy's sweating profusely? I was having a meeting with the team out there, Al Nasser, and they were giving me these spices. And it hit me in such a way, man, that I can tell you right now, my gut still ain't recovered from that day. Like, it was so spicy. It was like the heaviest thing in the world. Like, I'm sitting in this nice restaurant in Dubai. And I'm just like, I'm like sweating, like trying to keep my concentration because they want to sign me. I'm just like, dude, I just got to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm dying, brother. Like, I'm dying right now. It's so spicy.
Couldn't imagine, dude. Like, that's...
Because you don't know what's inside.
And you don't want to be disrespectful
Exactly.
and say like, no, I don't want to eat this when they're trying to give you money.
Exactly.
So man, I couldn't imagine.
What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten? Only reason why I asked this because Brooks Koepka was on Faraday and he had played like all over Europe, and he asked him what the craziest thing he'd eaten was, and he said it was a horse meat, but he didn't know it was horse meat until after, and then. Like he ate horse meat like a lot more that time, but he said it's so weird for us in the United States to do that. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
It was definitely it was duck. It was in China, but the way it was weird is because they bought the whole duck, like beak, eyes, everything, and they put it on a platter.
And they cut it up for you?
No. So you have your chopsticks, so it's being twisted, like it's being like so we're all picking from it.
Oh,
like it's kind of like it's cut up, but it's like it's still intact.
Yeah.
So
it's like the whole duck. They just
Peking
bought
duck?
the whole duck.
The whole Peking duck.
Like they're getting the eyeballs, they're getting like the beak and all that stuff. And I mean, I was like I said, don't be rude, because like you're trying to but they bought the whole duck, and I was like, man, like what are we doing right now exactly?
Am I eating this duck's ass right now?
Yeah, I'm like duck. I'm like that's a whole duck. I mean, usually you don't bring out the whole chicken with the face, but they bought that duck out there, and I was like, all right, we're doing this right now. Apparently. This is about to happen. And
that shit was good too.
It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't bad. Like
you get a couple of bites of meat. Ooh, this is pretty good. You get another one. It's like, ooh, I don't know what that was.
But you're sharing with your teammates too. So like you're picking at it, like we're all in a circle, and like it's spinning around, like you're picking at it. And I'm like, okay, so we're like sharing germs right now. Okay, so this is like an experience for all of us to be a part of this. It wasn't kind of like here's your portion.
Yeah, because you never see that in the States. So
No.
I bet it's super weird.
That was a little bit different for me. But
that's cool though, bro.
that was an experience right there, man. Also in Japan, dude reached in. My brother's actually in Japan right now. I saw a guy make like actual sushi. Like he reached into the tank, pulled out the thing, and started cutting it up right there.
Sushi?
Yeah, cut
Just-
it up.
Oh yeah.
Reached in the tank, and, like,
Fresh.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was fresh.
I've seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen that.
I'm just kind of like, oh,
That's the best sushi though. Huh?
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
pretty-
It wasn't bad.
It was,
I mean,
it was fire.
but you in the tank, man. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing.
So is your brother older or younger?
He's older, 2 years older than me.
2 years older.
Yeah,
So yeah. So you and your brother got the old acting bug.
man. Yeah. So
How did that happen? 'Cause that's crazy.
It is. So Saul, when he was in college, he had a teammate named Raymond King, and Raymond, I think he did a little bit of like acting, things like that. But the guy that they were looking for to play Kareem, he was too dark. So somehow, some way, it found its way through Raymond, which then got to Saul. Saul went down to, and if I get the story wrong, Saul, this is what you told me, man. He went down to L.A. and he did he read improv, got on the spot. They put him in.
I mean, he looks like him.
He does.
He does.
He does. And,
Yeah.
and so the resemblance, and it's funny because we had a game, so I'm coaching this middle school team right now, and I was over at Memorial, and that guy thought that was him. He was like, "Are you Solomon?" And I was like, "Nah, man, like, that's my brother."
Yeah, you guys
You know,
look alike,
yeah.
but he looks more like Kareem than you look like Kareem.
He does.
So your brother played Kareem
Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar in the movie.
Winning.
No, the
show.
show.
The
Showtime.
show. Yeah.
winning
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
2
winning
seasons.
time. Yeah, winning time.
Damn.
Yeah, it was cool. And then like you would like every once in a while see like Gabe in the background like playing on an
Yeah.
opposing team as like an extra.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. It was funny.
We went to the premiere. He brought me to the premiere. Me and my amazing wife, and like, I'm like in awe. Like, I mean, I've seen the world, and you see like this purple carpet, like the stuff you see on like Entertainment Tonight, like all the camera and stuff. It's really happening.
Yep.
And like we're there, and I'm just like, wow, this is insane, man. And my brother Quincy, Adrian Brody, John C. Riley, like all like the main guys. The guy that wrote the I'm blanking right now from his name. The guy that wrote Step Brothers, but they're all there. And so we see the very first episode before it gets released, and we go to the after party, and I'm with Saul, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "This is my brother." And they're like, "Well, I can put you in." I'm like, "Oh, you're drunk. Like you're just talking."
Yeah.
But that was probably the best party. I've been to some parties, but hand rolled cigars. I mean, it's phenomenal time, man. And a few months later, this Saul called me like, "Listen, they want you to try out. They want to give you a script for one of the Lakers." And I was like, "What you talking about?" He's like, "The show." And I'm like, "Okay." But I mean, it's like in my mind, it's like my brother, so I'm not really like thinking too much about it. So I read for the guy for the Lakers. I didn't get that scene, but they wanted me to fill in and be for different guys. I played, I'm blanking right now on some of the names, but I played. He's a Hall of Famer for the Bucks. I played on the Blazers. Did the Kings. And it was an experience, man, to be down there. Like Adrian Brody, like he was a guy that played Pat Riley, like one of the nicest guys. Just talking to him, like I got to meet his mom one day, and I told him like just being around individuals, it was this like a whole different experience of life because just like in the NFL, it's a different move. It's like in baseball, it's a different thing, because you be on set for 12 hours.
Yep.
And I had no lines. I was just playing basketball. But I met some of the most amazing individuals doing that, man. It was a fun time. All the guys were like 6'5" and above. And it was just kind of like to where I remember when he came out one day, it was John C. Riley came out, man. And he just like had this like whole thing of like, he's Dr.
Jerry Buss.
Like the way he's yelling and screaming, I was like, this is insane, man. But yeah, Saul did it. He has a movie coming out that he's done also. It's called, I think, Guns Up with Kevin James and Christina Ricci. And I'm going to put it out there, Saul. He also he produced something that's probably going to get picked up by the Globetrotters. So that's his move.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he's in that world now. If I get picked up for something else, 100%, like I'm open to it. But for what it is right now, I'm blessed where I'm at in my life. And to experience like some of Hollywood, yeah, man, it's pretty insane. Like to look back and be like, oh, that really happened. I got a basketball from the show. It was at the premiere. It's a gold basketball, so it's winning time. And I was walking out, and I was like, "Can I get one of those balls?" And they were like, "Sure." And I was like, "Let me get that real quick."
Yeah. And I'm surprised that it like didn't get picked up for longer because it was a solid show. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it before I even knew you were even on it or your brother was on it. Like I was watching it for a while, and it sucks that it ended so like abruptly.
Things went down to where I think with the strike and with everything going on, man, like I know that they were trying to push it out for like Isaiah Thomas and for Jordan, because Magic's story is so unique.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I remember hearing the news of him, you know, being diagnosed, and it rocked my world. I was like a little kid. I was like, damn, this is Magic Johnson. Like, this is a whole different, you know, side of, you know, life, to where you see someone like Jordan, like, oh no, Jordan's like you know, he's a legend, superhero. Like, he can't get sick.
Yep.
But no, they had to put it down. But I mean, a lot of those guys, man, like I said, they're still moving and doing different things. A lot of guys that met on there, they were on Space Jam. They did stuff with LeBron. And if they do more basketball stuff, I'm pretty sure I'll get a ring potentially. Who knows? But you know,
if you need a big white guy, let me know.
No, listen, they were looking for guys too, and I told guys, man.
So one of my old teammates, I think he was on the Lakers like role. He was like an extra or something like that. Chris McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I played with them in San Diego.
Yeah, no, they actually do need guys, man. They were looking for guys. Like,
bro, so one of my best friends, his wife is like in like Nickelodeon world, like kid like she was on Nickelodeon forever. Yeah, and she was like, they need big guys always. So if you ever want to, I'm just like, man, I would do it if like if I had like the time and like the like opportunity for 100%. Sure. I would do it. I would do it 100. Like I'd always thought about like getting into it because like her agency or whatever, she was good friends with you see the movie We're the Millers? Yeah. Yeah. The big Pablo Chacon dude with the mustache. Yeah. And he's like, she was like friends with him. Yeah. And she was like, they're always looking for, and she's like, you're way bigger than he is. So they're always looking for big dudes that are like need to be enforcers or like play the villain's bodyguard or something like that. They're always looking for big guys. So she was like, if you're interested, I'm like, just let me know. Like, I would do it.
I still make phone calls. No, I mean, I reach out to some of the guys down there. I'm like, hey, if you ever need, I mean, because the thing for me is like, I want to do the creature work. They need like, they use tall guys or big guys for the creatures. Like my favorite movie of all time is Predator. So if I played the Predator, man, I'm like, I'm done. Yeah. Like, take me now, Lord. Like that's all I needed right there.
No
man.
lines. You just walk through the jungle and shit. Like
laying folks out.
Yeah. That weird noise that they make.
Mouth opens.
Exactly, yeah, bro.
So let's go back to like coming out of college. Went to Cal, right? How did that kind of draft process go? You know, you went undrafted. Kind of where did that kind of your path to get to Europe and everything happen?
So man, I did my 4 years at Cal. You know, for me, I was late bloomer, and that's kind of like been like what I've kind of lived off of. Like I got the most improved award through high school, got in college, and I look back now, I used to hate that. Now I love that mentality because like I'm always improving.
Bro, same way.
That's it. So when I left Cal, I left early to go pursue basketball. It wasn't so much the coaching. I mean, the coaching wasn't a good fit for me. But my passion for the game grew because, you know, I saw what my sister had done. She had played pro. My other sister had played at USC volleyball. My brother, Saul, was like, he still hooped, my other brother. So I went and I tried out in different leagues. I was playing in Kentucky at a little pro-am, and the guy there, Javier Jimenez, came over to me and was like, you want to go to Spain? And I was like, sure. And, you know, from there, I would say the love grew. Yeah. In college, it was like, when I talk to kids now about playing sports, I'm like, just don't be a robot. Like, have fun. Like, be an athlete. Like, you're an athlete. Like, but don't let that be your identity. Yep. Like, allow it to, you know, pour into your life, apply it. The way I run my classrooms over at the middle school, I'm like, man, I'm your coach. You're my players. Just execute. And when Javier brought me over there, man, it changed my life, dude, because from there, once again, leaving California and, like, seeing Spain and then, like, this whole process of kind of, like, I had an agent sometimes, but sometimes I was able to represent myself because my resume spoke for itself. I was strong enough to say, like, you know, I will produce for you guys. I will, like, be that enforcer. I'll be a rebounder. I'll be a defender. But it became a thing of, like, to where I had good connections. And it helped that, you know, Saul was a monster, like, when he played in high school, man. My sister also, like I said, she played pro. So they knew, like, everyone in my family, my dad is 6'9", my mom is 5'11", my sister was 6'4", Kylie's 6'1", Arnold 6'7", Saul 6'11", I'm 7 foot. So when you have like this gift, I would call it, yeah, it's gonna be utilized, if you want to. So it just kind of grew, and it got more. And I mean, my sons are projected to be tall, but once again, if they just want to be artists, if they just want to play the guitar, man, I'm just gonna give them that passion. But if you want to hoop, let's hoop.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we talk about all the time. It's just like letting like the kid find what they want to be passionate about too, right? Letting them like not forcing anything on them, because that's how it comes naturally. That's how it comes, like that's how you find the love from it is coming from like inside. Not no, you can't project yourself onto like your kids.
No,
and that's one thing that like all of us are gonna have, like, because we all have boys. My boys are super young. Yours are probably, I don't know how old yours are. 5
and 2.
Yeah, so I mean they're somewhat young. His is
2?
Just
one.
one.
What school?
I know.
Got another one.
I know. Yep.
He's trying to get all of like him and I, Quincy. We all have like
Defoe,
the same.
All those guys.
We all have the same age sons, and he wants them all to go to the same high school.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I'm dead serious, man.
No, we seriously have like Quincy's down. You talk like everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner's kid.
Yep.
There's gonna be a squad.
DeForest has kids same age as mine.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 boys too.
It's at that level now.
Yeah.
It's like,
especially here in the Central Valley, Clovis. It's like that. There's some money here. There's some talent here.
Right.
It's not like the big time ones in LA or like Texas, but at times Clovis Unified Schools can compete with
100%.
all across the country. What was like
100%.
Clovis East was like the second best football team like when we were in high school. You remember that?
I don't.
I think it was like 2004. They were like number 2 nationally ranked football team in the country.
Oh, really?
I think because they were all on steroids, but
Oh, probably. That helps out.
Who wasn't back then?
Right.
You know?
Me. I should have been though.
You played NFL. You didn't even know you took steroids.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. It's crazy to think about like the already leg up our kids are gonna have.
Right.
Because we're professional athletes, right? Because we've lived it and we've learned it. If they want to do it at all, they're gonna have the best teachers sitting in their living rooms, right? Like that's the best thing that I could even give our kids is to have that, like the blueprint already there.
Exactly.
And how to work hard and show them instead of just telling them, like, hey, you want to do anything? Like, if you want to do anything you put your mind to, you can, because look, I got all these jerseys around here for a reason.
That's
like
my resume.
That's my resume. Like, listen to me, and it'll, if that's what you want to do, I will show you the way.
Oh man, I'll tell you. And I mean, be married to, she was the best athlete in the Valley, Kelsey Hughes. It goes by Clad. Well, maiden name's Clad, but she won the Benign Birth Award. The one so she beat out a guy from the Ravens. So my wife was the top swimmer, the top water polo player, and for her, me and her to combine, once again, we'll show you, but you have to want it.
Yeah, you got to have it. You got to have it up here. You got to have it in here and in here, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I
put
mean,
it together.
I wasn't. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't the biggest, strongest, fastest, like most athletic, whatever. But like, I knew how to work, and I knew, and like you kind of like you said, like you fell in love with it a little bit later, right?
Yeah.
Which was cool too, because you always had to grow.
Right.
You never got complacent, and that's kind of how I was too. I was cut 15 times in the NFL. Like I never got complacent, and that's what let me keep growing and gradually improving, because if you don't in that league, you're gone.
Right.
Like, and there's no Europe, and there's no G League.
Right.
There's nothing like that in the NFL. So you're either in it or you're out.
Right.
So like you either had to put up or shut up, and like that was the one big difference between football and baseball and basketball is there's no other like developmental leagues. Like there's college, and there's the NFL.
That's it.
And now there's like the XFL and stuff like that, but
it's still different speed.
It's different, bro. It is completely different. Like you can go pretty much anywhere and find a basketball run and put a good group of dudes together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Baseball's a little bit different too, because you can't really put 22 guys on the field together at one time.
You can't really play baseball outside of
organized.
You can play basketball all you want,
right? Yeah.
Basketball and golf, like you can play into, like anybody can play. You don't have to be very good. Baseball, if you can't throw a ball or swing a bat, you literally can't play.
Yeah.
Like
true. It's true.
It's just like it's one of the most skilled sports, the most humbling sports.
Yeah.
And I think Kenny and I talk about this all the time about like kids and stuff, and showing them and being the example. It's like we know what success looks like, not because we're like super rich or super famous or anything, but it's like where we've come from and how hard we had to work to get there, you know, like the struggles and ultimately the life lessons that we learned from playing.
Man.
We learn, and I know you can say this for sure too. It's like you learn more from traveling the world and having experiences than you do from like going to college or reading textbooks or anything, just because that's what life is, right? You like, you know, communicating with other people and like adventures and experiences, and you can't get those really outside of sports unless your family has money, right? Like they're going to pay you to go study abroad, or they're going to pay for you to do this, and that's why sports is the biggest outlet for kids. It gives kids that grew up with nothing an opportunity to have everything.
Right.
Like there's very few things that can happen to, and sports is like that huge piece that can change somebody's life. And we see it all the time in professional sports. Like it changes their mom's life, their cousin's life, all of this. But then at the same time, if you don't pass that down, kind of like the generational wealth thing, it's like, what did you learn?
Exactly.
Because you see so many high level athletes that were the best and their kids, they didn't even play, or they weren't really that good.
Right.
And I believe it's because they were, you know, like the best. They didn't get cut 15 times like Kenny. They didn't grind in the minor leagues making $400 every 2 weeks sleeping on somebody's couch. Like they didn't have to go through that as much. They went into NFL. They were paid a lot. They were told that they were the greatest, and they were. Not that they didn't work hard and sacrifice and do things that others didn't, but they didn't go through the grind that other people have went through. And then some of the best athletes that are coming up now had those parents that struggled, that taught them the values of hard work. And then it kind of goes to that kind of that saying it's been going around a lot more now in our society where, you know, hard men create easy times create tough times create, you know, like that, like whole thing, to where if you struggled and you know what it takes to be successful and work hard, you can pass it on to your kids
100%.
without telling them.
100%.
Right. Because you did it and you
show
lived
them.
it.
Yeah, you lived
show
it,
them. Yeah.
It's a different thing. And I mean, now it's like, I love watching baseball. I love watching football. Like being able to study other sports and study what they can offer. Like I use the analogy of baseball. I'm like, yo, you know, you get to go up here right now and swing and trying to hit this. This is, if you want your grade, swing for it. If you don't, you don't have to. But like one of the guys that I work with over at the middle school, Kings Canyon, he played a little bit of baseball, and like he's always trying to tell kids, like, you have an opportunity right now to do something with this. So you can either swing at the situation or just not even do it at all. We were talking about being physical and how like a lot of these kids now, they don't understand. And I was telling one of my kids afterwards, man, I was like, listen, in basketball, you don't get hit. In baseball, if a guy stands in the box, he's going to get hit, that's because he's not afraid. Stop being afraid of stuff. Like, allow yourself to look at a situation and say, it's going to be challenging, but suck it up and push yourself into a point of saying, like, how's that going to work out for me? You know, so my two front teeth are fake, and one got knocked out in Romania, like, he got bent back, and my coach pulled it forward, which is wild. But I had like a metal bar like here, like that was like glued on, man, like super glued on. And I tell my teammates, and I tell them, the kids, I'm like, listen, guys, at the end of the day, man, like my lessons are like the hard knocks that I've gone from making poor choices to like this going through adversity. But allow yourself to just take the hit. It ain't that bad. Because life's gonna be way harder. Yep. It's gonna be like 10 times more aggressive. But you know, when I look at where things are now from like when I played. If my boys do want to play, man, I'm just gonna say, listen, connect it. You know, have your foundation. You know, know where your gift came from. You know, because for me, that's like I know that God gave me something to be like a billboard. You know, walking around, I'm not normal. I mean, when I'm with this guy, like I'm normal with him and Noel. But most time, man, like throughout my day, is like, did you play basketball? Like, you know, who'd you play for? And it's like I go into like my spiel a little bit, but I'm thankful for it because, you know, it's a thing to where I will always carry it. You know, and my father could have played in the NBA, but his dad made him go get his PhD, and he was the one that kind of put me in that standpoint of like I had my mom drive me to my practices, and my dad was like, "You're gonna read for an hour." I'm like, "What are we doing right now?" But they knew the recipe. You know, you say you can pass it to your kid, but do you want to apply it? Yep. And I don't know if you saw the LeBron was chirping with the coach from I think it was I don't know if it was the Houston Rockets. The audio, did you hear about that?
No.
The audio, yeah. The coach was like, because the guys were flopping, and the coach was like, "Y'all being a bunch of bitches, whatever." And LeBron was like, "Using that term loosely, like, what you gonna do about it?" But it's a point to where, okay, yeah, I get it. A flop is like you're trying to like draw something, but man, the '80s, watching like the Jordan rules and stuff like that, guys getting laid down. Bill Laimbeer. Laid out. Yeah. Ray Lewis, laying dudes down.
Yeah.
Just
Football's even changed.
Tom Brady talked about this. He's
did, I
like
saw
he's
that.
like mediocre. Football is so mediocre right now because of the rules.
Right.
Like you would have to game plan completely different when you were playing Ray
Right.
Lewis. I would not throw the ball over the middle because my guys would get hurt. I wouldn't have them. You'd have to game plan. So your skills, your plays, everything had to be set and be at a very, very high level for each team. Now he said that every offense can play the same against every single team because they can't hit you. They're not afraid to go over the middle. You have you don't have like the big kind of like physical guys that you used to. It's like athletes now because they want to put that on the field. Like it's a show.
Exactly.
Right? Which like you can argue that the NFL's better now with, points scored. It's more exciting, all that stuff. But like to his point that the sport is not as good because of the rules,
Right.
because of physical, and same as the NBA.
Right.
Like, you just pull up, shoot threes, and now you got kids, playing.
shooting threes. I want to be
Yeah.
Steph Curry. And I'm like, dude,
Exactly.
watch his work ethic before that. Like, start closer in and shoot.
Yeah, and see how many threes he shoots a day to
Exactly.
be able to pull that off in a game.
Exactly.
Not just show up and think that you're going to make it rain.
Which is crazy. Is like the amount of points being scored in NBA games right now.
Oh yeah.
Like
like 140?
90s and like 2000s, it was like if you hit 100, it was like a good game. Now
Right.
Yeah,
it's
what
like,
did Jordan win? His
was like
last shot was
80
like 82 to 83.
Yeah,
or something
he was
that.
like defense, man. Like
Yeah.
hands
Yeah,
check.
and it was
Crazy.
hard-nosed defense. Like it
Exactly.
was, and it wasn't even like it wasn't excited because I remember, being a Jordan fan when I was little, watching the games. It was so exciting. Like when the defense,
Yeah.
like you're watching it,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's too fast-paced now,
Yeah.
to where like you don't have that like kind of like that crazy scene that's gonna come to where it's like, is he gonna make this shot? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna
Right.
do? It's like the pass, shoot a three,
Yeah.
pass, shoot a three, dunk,
Yeah.
steal. Like,
ISO go.
Right.
That's what. That's
there's
all
not
it
like
is.
that build up.
There's no offense. There's no like. That's what what makes Europe so different.
Oh yeah.
Because they're running offense,
Skills.
they're running plays, they're
Yeah.
running like it's more team ball. Now it's like, all right, let's set a few screens to get Steph Curry open so he can shoot it,
Right.
or let somebody take him off the dribble and go score.
Yeah.
Or
You
run
said it
pick and roll.
best. It's like a show now. And I mean,
Yeah.
I remember like we used to come home from church in high school. Our basketball shorts were underneath our slacks. Slacks them off. We're going to go hoop.
Yeah.
But now it's just kind of like the show of like, and I get like everyone has to kind of adapt. But for me, it's like I took pride in defense. I took pride in shutting you down. Like that was my main thing. That's why
Me
I got
too.
put into like UC Berkeley because like my nickname was a deer because I was quick and I would just want to block shots, like just be reckless. But now it's kind of like everybody. I mean, if it's gonna be a show, then you're gonna have to understand like you're gonna take away from like the purity of the sport.
Yep.
It's not pure anymore.
They're taking the big men out of the sport.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I mean, and I saw this thing today, man. It was I was watching these clips. It was Gary Payton when he played with Shaq in Miami, and he was saying like Pat would draw something. He's like, man, I ain't doing that. I'm doing the ball to Shaq, and Shaq's gonna throw it out because that's the play. Because like he was the big man, you know. And it's like if my boys are big, I'm gonna try to give them everything I can to understand what a big man did because your job was to protect the paint. That was your job, protect the paint. But it's now become a thing where everyone's trying to mimic what it is. And if you're willing to work for it, okay. But man, just don't think you're going to jump there because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're blessed to be huge, okay. But I've seen guys my size who kind of walk and chew gum at the same time. So I'm just kind of like, how do you want to be able to develop? Like you said, in Europe they develop it. They talk to them about it. Here it's just like a flash. Like the NBA tournament. I watch the NBA. I don't watch it a lot. I mean, I do. I enjoy the game. I love the game. But the tournament is only there for what reason? Money. That's it. It's like it's.
Just try to get more excitement in the middle of the season. Which it's kind of actually working. You've seen some kind of exciting stuff. What was it? The Pacers had like 3 guys on like league minimum, and every player gets $500,000. So they're actually playing for something.
Right.
Versus dudes that are just making $30 million a year. They don't care.
Yeah.
What they need to do is they need to bring in the Europe teams.
That would be interesting.
It would be
because-
sick.
You
Like
do that.
like how the European soccer
And pay
plays,
them
right?
Yeah.
because they're
No, you run like a European you run their European
Yeah.
leagues, and then whenever like you get placed, right? You get placed with like the top European team will come over and play like the
Man, let's-
top
yeah.
the top NBA team, and then you get like placed in all these brackets and everything, just like they do in like the Premier Leagues and stuff like that, where they relegate teams up and down from different leagues. It would be sick to kind of see the style of play, because I mean, Olympics teams have gone over there and got whooped by like Serbia when it was like
I was about to say the Olympics kind of shows now
Yeah.
like what it is.
Exactly, because you're playing for something more than money. You're playing for your pride.
playing for pride, yeah.
Playing for your country. You know,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why the Olympics are such a big deal. That's why like when you see the Baseball World Classic, people are playing for their country a little bit
Yeah.
more. Like the guys that are, from the Dominican, they come over here, if they're playing, they have a better life for themselves, they're living the life. When they go play winter ball, they're playing for their hometown, for their country, for their people.
Yeah.
There's a lot more play. Like when I was playing in Mexico, the fans are so much more into the
Oh
game
yeah.
because they appreciate it and they
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Not that we don't have good fans. We have great fans, but you have other stuff outside of that game.
Yeah.
Mexico, in the Dominican, Venezuela, the people don't really have lives. They're not making that much money.
I've had
Their
some
biggest thing is going, and you probably see it for sure. Like,
yeah.
you've probably seen it, that fans care about the game more
Right.
because that's the biggest thing in their life at that moment.
They I mean, I would say like the fans in Japan, they were like right there with us. Just like lively, on their feet. The fans over Romania. I mean, the whole game, like they got flares and stuff. I mean, but it was like a passion thing. It was like they were with you. They were part of like, we want to be part of the experience. Like, I'm a Raider fan. Okay, so for me, it's like I always say, like I'm watching the Raiders and I want them to win, but like I'm not as passionate with them because like I'm not there with them. Like the fans, like they were just like involved so much because we're in a little city, either whether it be inside Tokyo or somewhere in Romania. But it's just something to where, end of the day, it's like we have good fans, but the same when you're playing for a different like area, like for that nation, like you were saying, it's going to kind of hit you differently.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see different. I would like to see like people appreciate it more. Honestly, just be able to be like, what, dude, like I appreciate what this guy's doing right here versus just yelling out nonsense or whatever you want to call it, because like you said, it's a show now.
Yep.
It's a show, and a lot of the NBA players, the older ones like LeBron and those guys, they speak out about it. Like I think it was Russell Westbrook that was saying like, you're yelling at me from the crowd, but I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
And if you say something like in a certain way, like if I see you outside of the arena,
Yeah.
it's gonna be something different, man.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about that with fans and how they get to say whatever they want and they feel like they have a protective barrier because they, paid to come see you and all this. And
Right.
there's been like, altercations with fans because let's just be real. There's no difference. You are a human being.
Exactly.
Like I said, if you guys were on the side of the road, like somebody needed help or
Yeah.
whatever, you would help somebody or
Right.
you would get in a fight because you're like whatever it is, you're
Right.
still the same human being.
Right.
And it's just weird how fans are in the States. Not that they're bad, but they just have other things, and they don't like some support. Like something like Boston's fans are crazy.
Yeah.
Like New
Yeah.
York, you have them, but then you have like the bandwagon people that just jump on because they're enjoying the show.
Right.
Like we were talking about, like whatever team's doing good, I want to go watch. I want to go watch LeBron.
Right.
Like I want to go watch Jordan. I want to go see
Right.
this famous person. That's what like a lot of people are going to do, just to
Yeah.
go and see that person play. They don't really care as much about the team.
Yeah.
They just want to go see a show.
Yeah.
What was the show?
Yeah. It's different now.
It's crazy.
I always tell my kids, man, I'm like, just remember, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's like grown men do this. I got paid to do this for a living. It was a good, good amount of money that I made. But at the end of the day, if there's a basketball court outside, man, it's just a game.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Like you're beyond the game. Like know that now about yourself.
Yeah. It is. It's a game, but without the fans, without that excitement, without that adrenaline. Kenny and I talk about this all the time. We had Isaiah Green on, and he was talking about like the transition from sports to afterlife, and you're kind of searching for that. You like adrenaline. Basically, you like adrenaline junkies without being adrenaline junkies. Like if like we were out here, hey, like let's go play baseball right now. That would be so fun to go
Right,
play.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, no.
Yeah.
Or if we're playing, you know, like adult league, I don't love baseball that much. If we're even during the season, if it's like Tuesday night and there's 4 people in the stands and we're losing by 10, I don't want to go play. Yeah. But now, bottom of the 9th, you know, bases loaded, packed crowd, that like pressure situation. Yeah. Like I want that. Everybody wants that. That's like what's fun. Yeah. That's what like I loved about professional sports was the pressure, was the moment, was the super crazy highs, but then you also had to deal with the crazy lows, like like struggling. But just like playing the game when you've done it for so long, like, you know, there's like a love of the game. Basketball is again different because you can constantly play. But then you fall out of love. At least I did fall out of love with the actual game. Yeah. But then you're in love of the moment of being a professional athlete and the adrenaline and like just the crazy experiences that you don't get anywhere else.
That's why I do Spartan races. That's my kick. Yeah. So I've done 4 so far. I'm gonna do another one. My wife did one with me recently, but I've done all 3. I've done the Super, Sprint, and the Beast. I might do a trifecta, but I still have that thing within me.
And it gives you something to like train for too. It's something it makes you feel like an athlete.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, when I was doing my second one, a buddy of mine, well, he wasn't a buddy, but it was a guy that ran by me. He said, "Remember, you're only going against yourself." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. That's all I need to hear." Yeah. You know, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like running a half marathon. My nephew just did a triathlon. I'm probably gonna try and do one of those, but I apply it to my life because everything I do in my life needs to just go hard. Like watching my brother perform and like be Kareem. He was going hard, but he took that from like being an athlete, memorizing lines and being able to be in the same, you know, he roller skating. I remember watching him. They had to teach him how to roller skate. There's a scene with him and John C. Reilly roller skating, and but like you said, he just transitioned it. Yeah. There was a time where I had to go more in basketball because it's, you know, and here's my rule: I'll play with you if you know what you're doing. He knows what we're doing out there. A couple years back, there was a guy that my boss, her husband, got clipped and almost broke his arm. I won't go play with guys who are going to try and hurt me. No. I'm not doing that, dude. Like, if you can play basketball or be an athlete, let's go play together. Like, Noel knows this. But other than that, some of these guys out here, like, they're like going a million miles per hour. It's like, dude, like
just kind of out of control.
Yeah, just relax. But no, for me, it's just like I still have that thing within me. And also staying young for my boys. That's one of the angles of it. But yeah.
Are you at peace with basketball? Or do you feel like there's, because I mean, you didn't get to the NBA.
Yeah.
Like obviously that was the goal, right? Yeah. Like, are you at peace with like your basketball career?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know like that's the ultimate goal is to kind of find like your way to the league, right? Yeah. Find your way to the NBA because everybody wants to play in the NBA who was playing basketball.
Well, here's what's wild about it. So my freshman year at Cal, if you look at my stats, man, I have zero stats. Like I had my best game against NC State. In March Madness, I had 14 points and 9 rebounds. When I played in college, I was just playing because my sibling. It was fun for me, but the NBA was like it's there. But like my major in college was art originally, and my coaches made me switch because they wanted me to be at practices, which was a lie. I could have done both. But I switched over to a different major, which wasn't like my passion. So 100%, like when I look at my career, most people will never do what I did.
No.
Like the way I traveled around.
No doubt.
The piece I get from that is 100% because I was given a gift by God that took me all over the world, that exposed me to like some of the, like, you know, the best players, that put me on the court with Kobe one time in the pickup game in Irvine. Like the Mamba walked in, we were doing our runs, like, you know, this training, and we're about to leave. And one of the guys was like, "Man, Kobe's coming." I'm like, "Kobe who?" And he walked in with Gianna, Vanessa, and Natalia. And we're like, "Oh, shit, like, that's Kobe." And he went to the loser's court, and he played, won, came over here, and it was me, a couple of my buddies from like Cal, some other guys, and we're playing. And he made a move, and so it was a pick and roll. And I switched on to him, made a move, man, and that popped my toenail. Like, literally, like, my toenail went black. Like, but he hit the game winner, and like, I mean, for me, it's like without basketball, I never would have been on the floor with Kobe Bryant. And a phenomenal guy, nice guy. Did my 2 years with the Defenders. I mean, I saw him there off and on. But, at peace with it, man, because 45, 33, 34, that guy did his time. Now it's time for dad and husband and brother to do his time, and uncle and whatnot, and grandson. So yeah, man, it's been a good run.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's kind of relieving to have that piece, right? Because like a lot of guys their career doesn't go the way they want it to go, right? Yeah. And a lot of guys are like, man, like maybe you could even touch on this too, because you were so close to the show and you never really got there, and having that like kind of in the back of your mind, man, what if I would have just did this?
Yeah.
What if I would have just done this, or what if I would have performed here, or made 5 more free throws in a game, or whatever it is, like that little thing that you have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
It's good that you have that piece, right? Like that you traveled the world and you saw all these different things. You got to experience a lot of things that a lot of people didn't get to do.
Yeah.
And that's something that you could say and tell your kids, and nobody can take that from you.
Yeah. And
which is cool.
Yeah. No, thank you. And then like we were saying earlier, the belief and like the confidence, like I played with Leon Poe. That man knew he was going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Like Poe came in there like, I mean, he was so focused on like what he wanted to do. Like his drive was like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, from the moment I met him to where his mindset was, he was like, yeah, this is about to happen. Like, this is going to be a stop for me right here.
Yep.
But I know where it's going. My mind wasn't there. But now every single day when I wake up, my mind's there. It's like, okay, I know what I got to do. I got to execute. I got to, conquer this, and this right here in front of me. So it's been one of those situations where being around other athletes, be able to kind of share and talk about that, because me and Noah talk about it, man. It's just like, it's a thing.
That's exactly what we're doing. Too.
Yeah, it's like
that's exactly what we're doing. Like, we're trying to like bring that like transition and that period of life into light, right? Because once you're out of the spotlight, no one gives a shit about you anymore.
No one cares.
Off the
no
field.
one cares,
it's like,
bro.
It's like off the field.
Yeah.
People talking about what they like off the field and their lives off the field, because everybody knows you on the field or like on the court, right? Like nobody really knows the real person. If you were a fan or you were watching, they don't know what you do. They don't know what you're doing afterwards, unless you're like still on TV. But it's still not real. Like, you're watching TV, you're watching a show. They have lines, they have scripts. Like, you like in Hollywood, like it's not real. Like that character that you were playing, that's not you.
Right.
But then so many people get fixated on that character or on that athlete, and they want you to be that constantly, and you're not. Right. You're just another human being just like them.
Yeah, like LeBron said, his son's first game, he's gonna miss the Laker game. He told you, I mean, he was like, he almost lost his son. And I think, like, we were talking about that, me and Noel and some other guys, like, your life shifts, because before he hoops for the Lakers, whoever, he's a father and a husband. And so he told the Lakers, like, when Bronny goes to play at USC, I will be at that game, like, whether we're playing or not. And that shows the level of, like, what he is as a man. Because, like you said, some guys are not at peace, man. And I have friends who played sports who are not at peace. Like, it bothers them, eats them alive. Like, and that's their life. But I look back and, like I said, my jerseys, like, some of them, they're just in boxes. I got some hanging up when I pull them out to show kids. Like, no. But my wife has been kind of like that other side of this, like, seeing someone like her who is literally, she has a shrine at her high school. Literally, there's a shrine for her. Has been like that anchor to the other side of me of saying, like, man, like, we're just ex-athletes.
Yeah.
And share it. And if our boys want to get down, let's get down. But if not, no worries, man. Just work hard. Yeah,
but you're going to teach them and lead by example. Teach them how to be
100%.
men. Teach them how to be good humans. That's just, sports just does that.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier, because you learn how to sacrifice. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to fail and lose.
Yep.
Like, all of us hate losing, right?
Exactly.
But we understand that losing is a part of winning.
Yeah.
That if you don't lose, you're never really going to get any better. You just think that you're the best.
You can't tie.
No.
I mean, football, you guys, I don't know how they tie in football.
It's dumb.
But it's like, you win or lose, like you said.
Yeah.
Every
Win or
single day.
lose.
Yeah.
I love it. Ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We sort of end this. Kenny's the judge here.
Okay.
We go. Izzy, bring the clock in. All right, so this is how this goes. 10 questions. Okay. You have 1 minute. They're easy questions. They're not that hard to answer. Rapid fire. Kenny's going to judge you on the answer, how quick you answered it, and if you had to think of it, or if you're if you basically struggled under pressure.
Oh my.
And how I agree with your answer.
Yes.
So when you said easy question, I already know it's a setup. Let's go.
No. It's pretty much the same type of
There's
questions.
10 questions he's gonna ask you all, so it's like rapid fire.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep. It's super easy. You got the clock, and for every second you go over, you get deducted from your score. What's the highest right now? It was like a 8. Haven't gotten the 9s. We've gotten a couple 8s. We got a 3, which was really bad.
Definitely
It
not
was like
going
an
for no
8-2 or something like that, right? 8-2?
Yeah, 8-2. So
All right, you had to beat that.
yeah, really
be 3,
simple.
man.
I'm gonna do the same ones I did to Isaiah because they're
Okay.
two completely different personalities, but
All
I
right.
think his answers will be good too. All right, Izzy, you ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1, and go. Other than basketball, what is your favorite sport?
Football.
If you can only eat one thing and one thing all day, every day, what would it be?
Steak.
Most famous contact in your phone.
Solomon Hughes.
If you were a potato, how would you want to be cooked?
Mashed.
3 things you're bringing with you on a deserted island.
Oh, pants, underwear, and socks.
Sports team you hate the most in any sport.
Niners.
Favorite non-sports movie.
Predator.
Dinner with any sports star, dead or alive. Who is it with, and what are you eating?
Sitting down with Kobe, and we're gonna have Popeyes.
If you were a stripper, what would your name be?
Glitter cheeks.
Taylor Swift or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Dude.
How'd he do on time? 50
Ooh.
seconds. 10 seconds to spare.
Bro, that was good. That was good, dude. That
You
was
were
good.
good.
Appreciate
Quick
that.
with it with
Yeah.
the stripper answer, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, man,
In Spain, doing a little...
I was like, let's see what happens here.
Woo!
Put some glitter on the cheeks.
All right, so you made it in time, so your score is the score.
Football.
Kenny, so
I know the Niner one's probably gonna bring me down.
I mean, I'm. See,
There's
I'm
no
impartial.
decimal points, so-
I'm impartial
Oh,
to
there's
football.
decimals.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as I said, as long as you're a Kenny Wiggins fan, that's all
I'm
I
a
care
Kenny
about.
Wiggins fan. I also had a buddy that played for the Raiders, like Namdi Asumua played for the Raiders. I was friends with Namdi, went to high school with them, and then Langston Walker.
I played with
it's,
Namdi.
it's tough hating the
Yeah,
Niners
San
after
Fran.
they just put
Yeah.
their smack down last
Ah.
week.
I did play with Namdi. All right, I'm going 8-4.
That's good.
8-4. 8-6.
You can't change your score once you get it. You're not a rookie. 8-4 is the score. The
All right,
score is
8-4
the
it
I'll
is.
take it.
8-4 it is.
That was
it, man.
that was good. You were quick with it.
He was quick.
You had an answer for the stripper.
That's
the
the top.
potato one.
Mashed.
Yeah,
What did you say?
man.
What did you say? Pants and what did you need? Under
Pants,
dessert?
socks, underwear.
Sand socks,
Eh,
underwear.
If I'm
need
on
no
the
shirt.
man, I'm covering up the boys, man. It's like, yo, we on the island, man. Like, castaway. Like, he's
Yeah.
running around like a little, no, I need to cover up.
Cover up that glitter cheeks.
Yeah. Got sand down. No.
That's
covering
nice.
up.
One more. Hit him with the 5, but you don't know what comes next.
Oh, just random off the top.
Well, it's got to be a category.
All right.
Do one that we did earlier.
What did we do earlier?
All right,
Oh,
so this one goes like that. I'll let you make sure you get
Okay.
them. So we stole this off another YouTube show, so we're not saying that it's ours. But so you have to name these, whatever it is, without knowing what comes next. So you have to rank them.
Oh.
So,
you get
1
we're
through
gonna do
5.
5 sports movies.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Sports movies. Rank them without knowing what's coming next.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna do basketball movies.
Basketball movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do that?
I can do basketball movies.
All right. Let's go. Blue Chips.
Oh, man. 1 out of 5?
1 out of 5.
So you got to rank them 1 or 5.
1.
Hey, that is my favorite basketball movie, bro. Favorite
Yeah,
basketball movie.
yeah.
All right, Air Bud.
Oh, 5.
All right. Hoosiers.
Oh, 2.
All right. He Got Game.
3.
Jesus.
Coach Carter.
4.
What would you have done better if you had to rank them? You still have number 1 and 1?
I mean, Hoosiers. No, actually, I'm leaving it there because Hoosiers, man. I thought that was gonna be like that. That's the one. But Blue Chips is
Blue
just
Chips
like
is my favorite basketball
Yeah,
movie, bro.
it's the one, man.
Favorite basketball
Yeah,
movie.
it's by hands down, dude.
Favorite. You got to see. He hasn't even
What's
seen
that?
it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. He was telling me about it earlier.
I mean, Jesus Shuttlesworth, like He Got Game. That's a good one, but
I try to name my son Jesus Shuttlesworth.
shut it down, man. Like I mean, Ray Allen, but like Blue Chips is like the Penny. Shaq. What's my other boy's name? Oh, well, we forgot the one they the two guys they followed him and they got injured. I gotta think of the name. It was a documentary they did, but he got game. Yeah, it's definitely above Airbud.
I thought
Airbud's
that's pretty-
trash.
Airbud.
Airbud's trash.
Should
I
have.
throw it in there. Okay.
Okay. Oh, you got pictures.
Yeah, I got family
Wendy's got
pictures.
pictures.
I got Santa photos at 5:30.
Yeah.
let's get
Well,
rolling.
we're done. We're here.
Yeah, we're done.
All right.
Hey, thank you all,
Appreciate
man.
you, man.
No, thank you, man.
It was
For
great.
real, this
It
is
was great to
fire.
have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Definitely.
fun.
Once we have the new studio, we'll have you back in. We'll
Oh,
talk
man,
about
yeah.
some other
I'll bring
stuff,
Saul.
Oh,
Let's do it.
I'll bring Saul, man.
Let's do it.
Saul definitely do this. Yeah, Saul
Heck
did
yeah.
Dan Patrick's show. And I was like, man, what's this guy doing? But Saul's all about that life.
yeah. We'll
He
have a
loves to do
good
that.
setup. It'll be nice.
Yeah,
and
sick.
yeah, it'll be good. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
have a good
sure.
time. Follow us on Instagram. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Izzy, hit us with that theme music.
Dun, 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 dun.